All right, shalom, family, shalom. Hey, if you can hear me well when y'all come on, man, if you can hear me well, type of one in the chat. Type of one in the chat if you can hear me good. Shalom, y'all. I'm gonna put my stuff right here. What's going on, y'all? I want to talk about stewardship today. I know it's been a minute since I've been live, man, but y'all know how it is. Y'all know how it is, man. Today really the first Sunday where I could really just chill and relax, man. Last weekend I was on the road. Weekend for that, just all type of stuff, man, be going on, man. I be busy, man. I ain't gonna lie. But I want to talk about stewardship today, man. So when y'all come in, man, if y'all can hear me well, type of one in the chat. Or just say, hey, you sound good. Cause I got this new microphone, man. Got this new microphone. Cause I'm trying to bring y'all some better quality videos, whether it's live videos, whether it's sound. Whether it's I'm sorry. Uh whether it's recorded videos or whether it's live videos. I'm trying to bring y'all better quality content. So when you come in, man, hashtag Sap Gardens, hashtag Black to the Land. If you can hear me well, if y'all can hear me, type of one in the chat, please. I'll praise to the Most High Yahweh Bashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, Shalom, Judah from Issachar. Hallelujah. Shalom, Shalom, Maki. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. Today I want to talk about being a good steward, man, taking care of your stuff. You know what I mean? Especially being a farmer, homesteader, gardener, whatever it is that you do that you're getting back to the land. It's important to take care of what you have acquired. It's important to be a good steward and maintain the stuff that the Most High has blessed you with, so you can not only can it last, but it can also appreciate in value. You know what I mean? So as y'all coming in, man, drop a comment in the chat, man, if you can hear me well. Hold on, let me just double check on my phone. Hold on, let me double check. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me. Okay, I got it on my phone. All right, turn it off. All right, man. First and foremost, and this is also lessons that I've learned. You know what I mean, just over the years and stuff like that, man. As far as just taking care of your stuff, as far as just being a good steward over your belongings, and just appreciating what the Most High has blessed you with. You know what I mean? But the first thing, man, first and foremost, man, you always want to make sure, especially whether it's in your homestead or even in your personal life, you know what I mean. You want to make sure you buy quality things. You know what I mean. So, for instance, I'll give you an example, a few examples, rather, but an example of that, being a farmer, being a homesteader, understanding you have to build infrastructure, understanding that you have to maintain things, whether you have a tractor, whether you building chicken coops, whether you putting up fencing for animals, whatever you're doing on the farm, you know what I mean? Whether you butchering things, by quality, first and foremost. And so, for example, with me, right, knowing that I need to build chicken coops, knowing that I need to build stuff, just all around the farm, buy quality tools. I made sure that I bought good quality name brand tools. Now I know, a lot of people, as far as with name brands, people like to look at name brands like, oh, you can get, something cheaper for better. But when it comes to things like tools, you don't want to get cheap tools. You don't want to get, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say anything bad about places like Harbor Freight or stuff like that, because you definitely can get some good stuff from out of there. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to things like drills, when it comes to things like saws, things that you need as far as to build things, to cut wood, to drill holes, and all this type of stuff, you need to make sure that you go high quality, as high quality as you can. So with me, I go with DeWalt. You know what I mean? Milwaukee is a great brand. Craftsman is good too. But like for power drills and stuff like that, I always go DeWalt. Because DeWalt, I mean, you could do Makita, you could do Milwaukee, you could do, even Craftsman. But me personally, I do DeWalt because of just the experience that I've had. Now I've had Craftsman tools, but one thing they didn't have, uh, they weren't as powerful as say a DeWalt drill. You know what I mean? And so with that, with buying quality, I'm also making sure that I'm not keeping my stuff outside, when in the rain or in the elements, because that will allow things to rust, to break down, if water gets into it and different things like that. But for the most part, they're very durable and different things like that. But you want to make sure that you buy high quality, and you want to make sure that you maintain it. You know what I mean? Like I knew people, man, older people who were into building or working on cars, or just had that experience of working with their hands, and they had tools that lasted them 20, 30, 40, 50 years. You know what I mean? And they were in mint condition. And what that allowed those tools to do was appreciate over time and value. It's the same thing with weapons, right? Y'all know I'm a gun advocate. You know what I mean? I always, what I mean. I always keep a weapon. You know what I mean? Just for being out on the land, but also for self protection. But make sure you buy quality weapons. You don't want to buy nothing that's gonna jam up on you just because it costs $200, or just because it costs $150 or $300, and you were trying to get something real quick. Now, don't get me wrong; it's better to have something than nothing. I understand that, but at the same time, if you want it to last, if you want it to, be an asset to you over time, make sure you buy quality. Make sure you buy quality, because what people don't realize is that when you buy cheap to start off with, you end up spending more money in the long run. You know what I mean? Because you have to keep buying things because things break down. And that could be for anything. I'm just talking in general now. You know what I mean? That could be for weapons, that could be for tools, that could be for, what I mean, fencing. Because as a matter of fact, the first fencing I put up for my sheep over there that I did the video on, that was a cheap fencing that I bought, right? And I'm starting to see that it was a cheap fencing. Now it's done a good job with the sheep, because sheep don't necessarily test the fence like goats do. You know what I mean? Goats, they'll stand up on your fence and all that type of stuff, man. And if you don't have a good material, you don't have a good quality, then it's not going to hold up. It's not going to hold up, man. So I had to make sure, for this next fence that I'm putting up, I bought a good brand, a good quality fence. You know what I mean? I bought I think it's called Red Brand or something like that. But that's just an example of buying cheap, because this is the thing. That's gonna last me, especially with the sheep. As long as I don't put no goats in there that test the fence and that stand up on the fence, that's gonna last me a little while. But at the same time, it's eventually gonna have to get replaced. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to have to put a better quality material, a better quality fencing in there, so it can last a long time. Like, y'all ever seen, like, like a farm or a plantation or something like that has the original structures that were built upon it, whether it be the slave shacks, whether it be the house, whether it be the fencing, whether it be the barn, and it could have been built 150, 200 years ago, but it's still standing. That's because they use real material. They didn't use plywood. They use oak. They use hard woods that will hold up over time. You see what I'm saying? They use real things. Like nowadays, even these houses that are being built, right? They charging people $2, $3, $400,000 for homes that are just plywood. You see what I'm saying? They just slap plywood together. They built a wooden frame, whether it was cedar beams or whatever the case may be, but it ain't no oak. You know what I mean? It ain't no real hard woods that last in that strengthen over time. If that makes sense. Let me know if I'm making sense, man. Hit the chat, man. Let me know if I'm making sense. But the Most High really put this on my heart to start just becoming a better steward. I'm not saying that I was a bad steward over what He's blessed me with, but just to become a better steward over what He's blessed me with. Because at the end of the day, We're supposed to be doing everything for the glory of the Most High. And we're supposed to be taking, because this is the whole purpose of him creating man, was to be a steward over the earth, to have dominion, to rule over the earth. And when you have dominion and when you're ruling, you have to be a good steward. I just joined, so I kind of missed. I'm keeping up now. Shalom, lyric. I'm just talking about being a good steward, and basically taking care of the things that the Most High has blessed you with, because of the simple fact of we want our things to appreciate and value, and we just want to be good stewards over what we've called, what the Most High has called us into, into being, pretty much. So I'm just talking about, my first point is basically buy quality things first and foremost. So this can go. This is all across the board. This isn't just with farming and homesteading. This could be in your everyday life. This could be buying shoes, buying clothes, buying a vehicle. This could be for buying weapons, buying tools, anything, even buying a home. Like I was just talking about, the homes that they're making now aren't really made of anything of value. They slapping plywood together with cheap wood that they're making the frame out of, and they putting plywood up, and then they put the drywall up and all that type of stuff. And that's why you see them putting up a lot of these housing developments, a lot of these neighborhoods. You see them putting them up so quick because they're not using anything of value really with these homes when they're putting them together. You see what I'm saying? You don't see them putting, they're not using brick, they're not using oak, they're not using real materials, they're using cheap materials. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm trying to urge our people, as far as just making sure you buy quality things first and foremost. You know what I mean? Because when you buy quality in the beginning, it may be a sacrifice. You know what I mean? Because you may have to pay a little more up front, but at the end of the day, it's gonna last you a lot longer. So you're really paying less in the long run. Versus when you buy cheap, then you have to keep buying. You have to keep buying every, few years or every year, depending on what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? Like even with clothes, you see what I'm saying? A lot of people buy cheap clothes, and what they do? What does cheap clothing do? It fades, it tears. You see what I'm saying? It just doesn't last. It doesn't hold up. And so every year you have to buy new clothes, or every other year you have to buy new clothes. Same thing with shoes. You know people who buy cheap shoes where they want to just go the cheap route. You see what I'm saying? They want to go to Payless, or just Walmart or whatever, and they want to just go buy a quick pair of shoes. But what they don't realize is that, man, them shoes ain't gonna last you but probably about a few months to a year, if that. You see what I'm saying? And then that's when you start getting holes in the bottom of them. And I dealt with that personally. You know what I mean? Growing up, I ain't gonna lie. We have where I'm from, we call it the flea market, but where a lot of you from, you might call it the swap meet or whatever the case may be. But early in middle school and elementary school, you would want to go to the flea market or the swap meet and buy the shoes from out of there, even though they was fake. You see what I'm saying? Whether it was some Air Force Ones or some Jordans, you knew they was fake, but at the same time, it's like, shoot, they look good, they look decent. You know what I mean? I want to be cool, so I'm gonna buy these. And then guess what? 2-3 months later, because you running, you walking every day in them, then they start to get holes in the bottom. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many pair of shoes I had growing up that had holes in the bottom, because guess what? You're going to wear and tear over time. So why not buy something of value that, with all of the walking, with all of the running, with everything you're doing, the product is still going to hold up. And I learned this, especially when I started getting into like dress shoes and stuff like that. I buy quality. You see what I'm saying? Like I buy quality brands. You have dress shoes, you have certain brands of dress shoes that will last you 40, 50 years if you maintain them, because they're made out of real leather. They're made out of real material. And guess what? You don't have to go every year, every 2 years, every 3 years, buy you a new pair of dress shoes because you bought quality dress shoes the first time. I got dress shoes that I've had for 5 years that still look brand new. You see what I'm saying? I have clothes that still look brand new. I have tools that still work very well that I've had for 2, 3, 4 years. You see what I'm saying? So it's important to buy quality things. You see what I'm saying? And to steward over those quality things as well, so you don't end up basically having to continue to buy those things over time, and saving money, and it also appreciates in value. See, because what a lot of people don't understand, a lot of our people, a lot of black people, or Israelites, Hebrews, whatever you want to call us, whatever, excuse me, what a lot of people don't understand is that wealth is not just how much money you accumulate. It's about the assets that you have. Like, we all know, or most of us, I'm just assuming that we know the difference between an asset and a liability, right? And see, most of our people, whether it be entertainers, whether it be rappers, whether it be sports players, when they come into money and they're thinking they're automatically wealthy or rich. But what they do is when they come into that money, instead of doing what a wealthy person would do, which is to reinvest, use it to invest, save, buy things that are assets that appreciate in value, what they do is they go and buy liabilities right off the bat. And a liability is basically anything that depreciates in value over time. Cars, well, most of the time, cars are liabilities. Unless you're getting like classic cars or like one of a kind type things, they're going to depreciate in value as soon as you drive it off the lot. A lot of this jewelry that they buy and chains and all that type of stuff, where they are using lab-made diamonds, right? It's not even real diamonds that they're putting in these chains that these rappers and everything that they're wearing. But they think, well, I spent $260,000 on this. I spent the house on this. Okay, but it's only depreciating in value. It's not appreciating in value because the material isn't as real unless you're buying like solid gold, right? That's one thing I respect. Nipsey Hussle was talking about. A lot of his jewelry that he was wearing was solid gold because gold is going to appreciate in value no matter what. You see what I'm saying? But all this platinum and all these diamonds and stuff that they go in and paying overpriced for is not appreciating in value. So a lot of our people, we have the wrong mindset when it comes to building wealth. What you don't realize is that somebody who isn't making millions of dollars a year, but they might be making a good salary, but they have a nice quality home, they own land, they have, investments and shares and all this type of stuff. And they're constantly reinvesting into their home. They're building equity, and all this type of stuff. That's the person that's more wealthier than the person who has millions of dollars that they're just going and buying liabilities with. They may have a garage full of Ferraris and still not be wealthy as the person who has bought quality things and is reinvesting in those things, allowing those things to build up equity, right? And basically being a good steward. And because they have assets. That's why I urge a lot of our people, man, buy precious metals, buy gold, buy silver. You see what I'm saying? If you can, once a month, you know what I mean? Go online, order some gold, order some silver, because this is the thing. In the event that something was to happen, where things get real, guess what you'll have? You'll have things that are of actual value. You'll have gold, because a dollar is not going to mean anything when the market crashes. You see what I'm saying? What's going to mean something is the skills you have and the tangible resources that you have, whether it be precious metals, whether it be ammunition, whether it be food. You see what I'm saying? So we have to take a step back and understand what true wealth is, and we have to understand that we need to start investing in assets and quality things, and buy quality first and foremost. Another example is look at things like the pyramids, of Giza. You see what I'm saying? Look at structures that have been built thousands of years ago or hundreds of years ago that still are withstanding the test of time. You see what I'm saying? That has lasted thousands of years or tens of thousands of years or hundreds of years because they took the time to use quality products or quality tools or just a quality things of quality to build those things. You see what I'm saying? They didn't take a shortcut and say, well, we just want to build it big and we want to build it fast. No, it may have took a little time, but guess what? That investment, those sacrifices have allowed, those structures or those monuments to withstand the test of time. That's why you can see things like even over in Europe, or in Rome, where you see like the roads they built of stone, where it's like people have traveled these roads for thousands of years. And they don't have to constantly go and repair those roads like we have in the United States, where we just mix up some concrete or whatever the case may be real quick. Hey, G Mama, what's going on? That we mix up some concrete real quick and then we just lay those roads out. And then, probably a year, 2-3 years later, or 10 years later, now you got potholes. Now these roads, you know what I mean? You have to constantly maintenance them because they weren't, they didn't build these things with quality materials. So it's important that we have quality, whether it be in our garden, right? You want raised beds, go buy you some real quality material to do those raised beds. Don't just go buy some cheap little laundry bins and put dirt in it. Well, I mean, you can do that if you just, if you're just starting off. I'm not knocking anything, right? I don't want to make it seem like I'm knocking anything, but I'm just saying, if you want your garden to last and to appreciate over time and value, go ahead and buy quality first and foremost. If you want to buy, what those little tubs that they use when they do raised beds, make sure it's of real material. Make sure it just ain't no cheap aluminum that's going, just over time it's going to depreciate. If you're doing wood, make sure you buy some good quality wood. You see what I'm saying? If you want to get a tiller for your garden, make sure you buy a good quality tiller. So you don't have to keep going and buying one when this one break down. You see what I'm saying? Buy good seeds. All of these things. You want to make sure you buy quality. Especially, let's say, okay, you want to get into keeping chickens. Make sure you build a proper chicken coop. You see what I'm saying? Not just something temporary like I used to do. I just used to just throw something up real quick. Exactly. Quality keeps you from purchasing it 4 times over. Exactly, G Mama. So we want to make sure that whether it comes from comes to gardening, whether it's keeping animals, buy a good breed of animal. See, I'm gonna tell you a personal story, a personal example. And this is in my older videos, we wanted to get into goats. So we went and bought some goats. The first goats we bought, Craigslist, just being honest. Most of my animals I buy are off of Craigslist or off of Craigslist, excuse me. Most of them are off Craigslist, right? But at the same time, it's like, when you're going to purchase this animal and you seeing like, okay, this farm, this ain't, or whatever the case may be. And so, long story short, we ended up buying those goats, and we thought they were a certain breed, but what we found out later on that they were not. And what happened was when we bought these goats, they stayed sick. You see what I'm saying? Like, I made a video as far as I thought the male that I bought, I thought he was about to die. So I had to go and get some, medicine and stuff for him, and before you know it, he was back up and running. But that's the stuff that you deal with when you don't buy quality, when you don't buy quality breeds, when you don't go through quality breeders and different things like that. I bought a dog, you know what I mean? When we first moved here, that was basically just being honest, was a mutt. You see what I'm saying? This dog was like a mix between a husky and like a lot of other stuff, right? Beautiful dog, but this dog, his temperament wasn't good. You see what I'm saying? He was very aggressive. He was hurting my kids and everything like that, so I couldn't keep that dog. You see what I'm saying? Because that dog, it would have done more harm than good. You know what I mean? So when you don't buy quality, it ends up, coming to bite you in the end. So that's why I make sure I buy quality animals. I make sure I buy quality materials. And then not only just buying those quality things, you want to make sure that you upkeep those things. You want to make sure that you keep those things, in good condition. So that way you can build a source of wealth. because it will appreciate over time. But the sacrifice in the beginning is worth it, so you can save in the end, and you can benefit in the end. You see what I'm saying? Next topic, or not topic, but next point. Uh, hold on, I already went over that. Equipment. You see what I'm saying? Equipment. When you are farming or homesteading or whatever the case may be, just a backyard garden, if it's a hobby or just keeping some chickens, you're gonna have equipment. You're gonna have certain equipment that you need, right? So if you're a big time farmer, you're gonna have a tractor, you know what I mean? You're gonna have a lot of equipment as far as for your day-to-day operations. You know what I mean? Make sure that you're maintaining that. Like, you know, you got people, man, that got tractors that's 100 years old that's still running good. You see what I'm saying? Because it has been maintained well. You have barns, that people have built back in the 1800s, back in the 1700s, and they built it out of real material. They built it out of real material, and it's still lasting. You see what I'm saying? But that comes from maintaining those things. That comes from maintenance. But you know, make sure that you buy the proper equipment that you need, and make sure you buy it quality. Make sure you buy it quality. So, like for instance, with me, right? I know, especially with running a YouTube channel outside of farming and stuff like that, because I got equipment out there. But as far as just running the YouTube channel, I need certain things. So, like even with my camera, right? I had to, in addition to making sure that I keep my camera clean, I keep it, what I'm saying, maintenance and all that type of stuff, keeping it out of reach of my children. Because I can't tell you how many times, my wife, I just come from doing a video and I just put it right there on the table or whatever the case may be. And my wife, she had to go and get it like, hey, these kids, you know what I mean? Because they don't know no better. But just making sure that your equipment is well taken care of, so it'll appreciate over time. Hey, shalom, Yahweh's portion, shalom, family. We're just talking about quality things and just taking care of your things. You know what I mean? Because how could you expect the Most High to bless you with more when you're not even taking care of what He's already blessed you with? And I feel like a lot of times our people get caught up into that. We always want more, more, more. We want, a lot of, whatever you call them, whatever you say, Yah, whatever you say, God. But we want the Most High to constantly continue to bless us, but we're not even properly stewarding over what He's already blessed us with. You know what I mean? So how could you expect Him to bless you with more? That's just like my son, right? Say if my son, he say, hey, Dad, I want you to buy me this, whether it's a dirt bike or, something like that, or a bicycle. But he constantly leaving it outside. He constantly leaving it in the rain. He not even washing it, making sure it's clean. He not changing the oil in it, or he not changing, he not making sure the chain is oiled up. He not doing none of that. He just letting it sit outside, and he pick it up whenever he want to, and he going to ride it. You see what I'm saying? And then just drop it wherever. He letting this person borrow it. How can he expect me to buy him something else or buy him something better if he's not even appreciating and taking care of what he already has? And that's just a small example. But I'm just saying we do this with our everyday life. We asking the Most High, bless us with another job. Bless me with another job. Or, I want to make more money, y'all. I want to make more money, God. But at the same time, you're not even stewarding over this job that he's giving you. You see what I'm saying? You trying to jump from this job to a new one, but you're not even appreciating where you're at. You want to make more money, but you don't even budget the money that you're making now. Because you live in check to check now. But you want more money when all that's going to do is just allow you to go deeper into debt, and just you live in check to check at a higher level. You got millionaires, or well, I'm pretty sure you got millionaires, but you got people who make six figures who live check to check because they got 3, 4, 5 cars. They got 2 houses. They got all these liabilities. They got a maid. They got all this and all that. I think every day when we are thankful and great stewards of what we have, then we will receive more. The little death, exactly. how you exactly heal thy living. You're exactly right. When you appreciate, what we would call the little things, most of us we think like, oh, oh man, this car ain't nothing. Oh man, this house, or whatever the case may be. Even with our health, even with just our well-being, we consider those the little things, but they actually not. Those are the big things because those are the essential things. You see what I'm saying? The fact that you have good health, that you woke up in your right mind, is so essential to your life. No matter how much you make, no matter how popular you are, no matter how many subscribers or followers you got, if you don't wake up in your right mind, none of that will matter. You see what I'm saying? So how we steward over the everyday things, right, will determine how the Most High will bless us. So we have to make sure that we appreciating what the Most High has blessed us with and being a good steward over it. You see what I'm saying? Because when it's time to trade in that whatever you've been stewarding over, let's say it's a tractor, right? You've had this tractor for 20 years, but it's time for you to upgrade. Now you could trade this in exchange for something better. And this still is in good condition. So somebody else will be able to benefit off of what you stewarded over. Or you could pass it down to your children, whatever the case may be, or give it to somebody else. But it's still in good condition, right? That's and personally, that happened to me, right? I had a car, that I bought when I first got in the military. I had this car for close to 10 years, right? Little Toyota, whatever the case may be. It was my first car. And I knew, especially moving onto this land and knowing that I want to farm and homestead, I need a pickup truck. So I went bought a pickup truck, but I was able to bless my grandfather with that car. Guess what? I made sure the oil was changed, every few months. I made sure to keep it maintenance and all that type of stuff. Make sure to keep it clean. But I was able to give that to my granddad. So I was able to trade in something that I had stewarded over for something that was better. But just imagine if I had just ran that into the dirt and it just stopped working and I needed something else. I would, you see what I'm saying? Like, how could I expect to be blessed like that? So, how we steward over the little things, just like the parable, with the people with the talents. You see what I'm saying? This master entrusted you with 3 talents and you with 5 and you with 1, right? How most he went and basically made a profit on his. The person who had, who was in the middle, he went and he multiplied his, but the person who only had 1 went and buried his, and he didn't steward over it well. And so there was a punishment for that because the stewardship wasn't right. You see what I'm saying? So with whatever talents we get, we want to make sure we stewarding over it. And we want to make sure it's appreciated. They don't care about that dollar bill, the cotton they used to make it was picked by our ancestors. They want you to chase that while they carry the real currency. Exactly. They want you to chase like you said, that cotton, right? That paper, that dollar bill. They want you to chase that while they buying the gold, they buying the silver, they buying all these different precious metals. They buying all these different things that appreciate in value over time. They buying all the land up. You see what I'm saying? You got these billionaires, of Silicon Valley, where they buying a lot of this land in Hawaii and all these other places. You see what I'm saying? You got a lot of these billionaires who are buying land in all these different states, as far as Montana, all these places. Pretty much, they buying all this land up, all this farmland, this prime land. Why are they doing that? Why are they trying to buy up all the land while we sitting here trying to chase a bag? Right? We sitting here trying to chase a bag while they own the bag. They the one who gave you the bag to chase. Right? They don't even see the value in the bag because they know what they put in it. But you trying to chase the bag while they buying what really matters. They building bunkers underground. These people are are making sure that their food isn't tainted with the chemicals that they create. They create these chemicals and spray it on the food and sell it to you, but they will never eat that food. You think the CEO at Monsanto is eating the produce that comes from Monsanto? No, he's not. Or she, whoever the CEO is, they're not eating that food because they know it causes cancer. They know it causes all type of illness. They know it's not healthy for you. They know that when they spray this stuff over the crops, the animals or the insects, they don't even mess with it. But you putting that in your body, right? For whatsoever, for whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away, even that he have. Exactly, right? You want to make sure that you have, and you want to make sure that you actually building wealth. Wealth is not just, see, man, our people got it so backwards, man. And this is why I try to stress to our people, man. You thinking wealth is just money. You thinking, yeah, man, I'm trying to get a M. I'm trying to get a million. You see what I'm saying? You feel, bro? You trying to get a million, but at the same time, what you gonna do with you when you get that million? You gonna spend it. That's the first thing people do when they sign a contract for millions of dollars. Black people, that's the first thing they do. The first thing they thinking about is how can I spend it, not how can I invest it. Very few of us think like that. But what you don't realize is that wealth, it comes from what you would call the little things. Wealth comes from home ownership. When you are building equity into your properties, wealth is buying land. Wealth is buying natural resources. Wealth is the skills you have. Wealth is what you know how to do. Wealth is how independent can you be from the government and from the system and from the supply chain. That's what true wealth is. Wealth is from the quality things that you buy that appreciate over time. Right. You know, like a lot of times back in the day, like when you first had like a lot of the baseball cards and the basketball cards and stuff like that with the players that came out, you know, the people who bought those and you know, that person who that card they bought, that person had a great career, ended up becoming a legend, went to the Hall of Fame. That original card went for, you know, it appreciated in value over time. Those first pair of Jordans that were sold, the people who, you know, understood, hey man, these might be worth something one day. I'm gonna buy this and I'm not gonna wear them. I'm just gonna keep them in mint condition. And 20 years later, I can sell them for $100,000. You see what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's wealth, but you know, of course, that's not the only thing. But what I'm saying is they bought quality things and they let it appreciate in value and they stewarded over it. They stewarded over it. They didn't just treat it all willy-nilly. You see what I'm saying? But we need to do that with everything that we buy, everything that we are consuming, or most things that we're consuming. Right? When you buy quality food, what happens? You ingest that food, and that food does well to your body. Right? And over time, your body appreciates in value because guess what? Health is wealth. You see what I'm saying? And so now when you're 50 and 60 years old, you're not dealing with high blood pressure like all your family was, like your mama did or your daddy did or your cousins or brothers and sisters. You're not dealing with that because guess what? You chose quality over immediate gratification. And so now you don't have to take 10 pills a day. You got to take this one for your arthritis. You got to take this one for your migraines. You got to take this one for your high blood pressure. But the side effects is messing up something else. You see what I'm saying? You taking this pill for that, but it's messing up your kidney. Or it's messing up, you know, whatever. You don't want to have to deal with that. So in order to not deal with that, let's buy quality from the jump. Let's start putting good food in our body. You see what I'm saying? Let's start raising our own. Let's start planting our own seeds and growing our own fruits and vegetables. Growing our own fruit trees, growing our own herbs. You see what I'm saying? Like G Mama's doing. Like a lot of y'all are doing. But we have to get this message out here to our people. You see what I'm saying? Because we are people that excuse me, we are people that we don't think in terms of quality, man, and it shows. It shows a lot of times, man. It shows most of the time because we thinking about how we can do it quick. We thinking about how we can do it fast. We thinking about how it can be so appealing. You see what I'm saying? But we're not thinking about the hard work. We're not thinking about the sacrifice up front that it'll take. You see what I'm saying? And we skip all of that. And guess what? In the end, you have to go back. You see what I'm saying? It's just like if you ever, ran long distances, like, me being in the army, we used to have long runs and stuff like that. And I can remember when I was young, younger in the army, around like 18 or 19, we would do like what they call 5Ks. And that's like, I want to say it's like 3 miles, something like that. But anyways, basically it was a race. So everybody would race or whatever the case may be. And so what I would do, I'm thinking, okay, I'm fast. I'm a sprinter. I'm gonna just shoot out the gate real fast. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna try to keep it up for as long as I can. And I used to do that. And I take off, man. I'll be in front of everybody. But guess what? When you get about mile one, mile two, you start to slow down. You see what I'm saying? And the person who kept that steady pace, guess what? Now they're catching up to you. Because now you gassed out. You gassed out because you know what I mean? You wasn't thinking as far as let me set a pace for myself. Let me and just let me go at a steady pace and I build momentum over time. But instead, I'm gonna use all my gas up front and I'm gonna gas out in the middle of it. And then the people that who set a steady pace, now they finna pass me. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we have to start doing. We have to start setting a steady pace for ourselves. You see what I'm saying? And understanding, hey, let's build momentum. It may not look glamorous. It may look like, hey man, they off to a slow start. But guess what? You might be out to a slow start. But over time, once you keep going, then you start to get confident. Then you get what they call a second wind. And once you get that second wind or that momentum, then you can speed up and you can go further faster. That's what we have to start doing. We have to start setting a pace for ourselves and understanding like, hey, we might not be able to, be the flashiest people, but we can be a people that are about quality. We can be a people that are about building. You see what I'm saying? And over time, it may seem like we got off to a slow start, but over time we making progress. Because now we're not making progress at all. We actually digressing as a people. We're not making no type of progress. You see what I'm saying? In our community, we are not making progress like other communities at all. But we're actually digressing. So it's like we can't do nothing but go forward if we just start in the right direction. Isaiah 48:17. Thus saith Yahweh, thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. I am Yah Elohim, teaches thee to profit, which leadeth thee by the way that thou should go. That verse shows that he desires to profit and prosper. He teaches us to profit. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with profit. You see what I'm saying? There's something wrong with greed, but there's nothing wrong with profit. There's nothing wrong with being prosperous. Our forefathers were prosperous. You know what I'm saying? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob was prosperous. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with greed, and especially a lot of this, capitalism. There's nothing wrong with capitalism itself, but you got a lot of people who exploit it, and really it's just about greed. But we have to make this system work for us, man. You see what I'm saying? We got to get out of the lies that we've been sold. We got to get out of the programming that we've been programmed to be. We need unity so bad. Exactly. And you want to know how we get unity? Heal thy living. You want to know how we get unity as a black people, as an Israelite people? We get unity by first our family structure. And when more and more of us start to become families again, husband, wife, children, and we build on that, then we can have unity because now our nucleus is unified. If our nucleus is unified, which is the family structure, the whole community of us will be unified. That's why you got certain cultures, man, whether it be Indian, whether it be Asian, these communities, although they may disagree with each other on certain things, they're unified because they value marriage. See, our people, we have to get back to valuing marriage. We have to get back to our more conservative value, or I don't even want to say conservative. We have to get back to the covenant that our forefathers made. We have to get back into the word and what the word says. It says it's not good that man should be alone. You see what I'm saying? The word says the man is the head, right? And the woman, right, comes under the man, and the children come under the woman, right? And we up under the Mashiach, and he's up under the Most High. That's the order of things. We have to get back in order first. And we have to stop promoting anything that's contrary to order. I know people like to say, oh, they living in their truth. No, ain't no such thing as their truth. It's the truth. What's the truth? It's the truth, right? The truth of the Most High. That's what we got to get back. We got to stop promoting dysfunction. Matter of fact, scratch that. Not even stop promoting. We have to start back shunning dysfunction. We need to bring shame back, because other communities do it, and guess what? It works for them, because although it may hurt their feelings, it saves their lives. We got to stop being scared to hurt each other's feelings. We got to stop being scared to hurt the feelings of our people, because while we scared to hurt their feelings, the system and our enemies, they ain't afraid to kill them. That's why it's important that you make sure your children, are disciplined. You see what I'm saying? Because if you don't discipline your children, the world will, and the world has no sympathy or love for your child. That's why so many of my brothers are in the grave or in prison, in jail. You see what I'm saying? But we got to low key really start bringing back shaming things that are dysfunctional, because the standard should be the family structure. When the standard is the family structure, then our people, then we'll start to make some progress, and then we'll start to appreciate and value, and then we'll start to become valuable. You see what I'm saying? And then we'll get back to the commandments. Then we'll stop sinning. Then the Most High will redeem us as a people. But right now, we dry bones, man. We dry bones. For real. But, I went off on that tangent, I know. But, man, I'm just saying all that to say, if we want to be blessed, if we want the Most High to bless our hands at things, and we want him to increase us, he won't increase us if we're not stewarding over what we have, right? We can read in the Bible, Jacob, he was a good steward over his flock, over the flocks of Laban, right? And as a result, the Most High, he multiplied it. He multiplied his flock. So much so that Laban was trying to get Jacob to continue to work for him. And Jacob was like, hold on, man, I ain't trying to do all that. I done served you for how long I was supposed to. But Jacob was a good steward. Yaakov was a good steward. Disclaimer, I'm Yahweh only, but I still support our people. But my people shun me because they think I'm being religious. Really, if we just try to hear each other out, we'll get what our enemy has done. And that's what happens. Yahweh's portion. Our people, they will criticize and shun us, as far as for being in the truth. But we still have to continue to be light. You know what I mean? And even though, because it says it in the word, we're gonna be persecuted for his name's sake. You know what I mean? So we can't worry about that. But one thing we have to stop doing is we have to stop promoting what is dysfunctional to us, toward our people. And we have to start promoting what is going to get our people unified, get our people back in right standing with the Most High. That's what we got to focus on doing. And for whoever don't listen, hey, shake the dust off and keep going. You see what I'm saying? But we have to be the example. We have to be the example. And by being the example, we have to be good stewards over what we have been blessed with. If you've been blessed with a good wife or a good husband and children, that. You see what I'm saying? Invest in your children, invest in your marriage, pour into it. so it can appreciate over time. So your children can grow up and say, man, my mom and daddy, man, they were, man, I was raised in a house full of love. So now I'm gonna go out and get a family of my own. And that's what I want. I'm not accepting nothing less. You see what I'm saying? Because I saw the stewardship of my father, I saw the stewardship of my mother. So this is what I'm going to continue in. That's how we change our circumstance. You see what I'm saying? By being good stewards over what the Most High has blessed us with. That could be with our health, that could be with our family, that could be with the things that we buy, the land that we own. You see what I'm saying? We just have to be good stewards over it. You know what I mean? But that's really it, man. I just wanted to put that message, out there. Just think about it. Ask yourself, am I being a good steward? Because to be honest with you, I'm really talking to myself. Because sometimes, especially, man, when you got a lot going on, whether you working, you know what I mean, whether got things going on, farming, you got to see about animals, you got to see about this. You know what I mean? You got to take time to ask yourself, am I being a good steward right now? You see what I'm saying? Am I making sure that whatever the Most High has blessed me with, is it appreciating in value, or is it depreciating? And so that's something I had to ask myself. And I'm like, to be honest, I'm like, nah, I can do much better. You see what I'm saying? And so, that's what the Most High has been dealing with me about. So I just want y'all to ask yourself that question, whether you got land or whether you got a garden or whether you got animals or just whatever. The Most High just blessed you with a home, apartment, anything, a car. Ask yourself, are you being a good steward over it? And if not, man, we got to make the necessary changes. But on another note, y'all, I wanted to show y'all what I just bought, man, for the channel. I don't know if y'all can see that. I know my camera acting up. Man, I just bought a drone, man. So, um, shalom, I'm late, Saint Moshe. What's going on, man? We wrapping it up. You know what I mean? I'm just showing everybody, man. I just been reinvesting into the channel, man, because I want to bring y'all quality content. You know what I mean? So I just bought a drone, man. So I'm excited to open that up. You know what I mean? So you can expect some, videos, some new videos and stuff like that. I bought a GoPro as well. I'm waiting on that to come. So when I'm doing fishing videos or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? Y'all will be able to see it from a different angle. You know what I mean? So, just investing, man, buying quality things. You know what I mean? And I ain't buy the cheap drone or the cheap, whatever the case may be. Everything I got is quality because I want to give y'all quality. It's not like the Most High haven't given us a tool to thrive. We just got to stop and think so we can get it too. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's why we being the ones who are in the truth, right, and are walking after the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. We have to continue to do that and be the light. You know what I'm saying? For our people, so they can get back into the covenant, right? So I understand that. You're absolutely right. But we just have to continue to walk our walk and run our race and just be what the Most High has called us to be, because that's how we witness to our brothers and sisters, right? Who, although they do have the tools, they choose not to use them because of whatever ignorance or whatever they in. We have to show them the right way, and we show them the right way by living it out. But yeah, y'all, I just want to show y'all that, man. I want to bring that message to y'all. I pray that it bless somebody, man. I know I ain't been live in a minute, so I want to tap in with y'all, man. And really, man, just let y'all know, this year, man, we got so much in store for y'all. I hope y'all got a lot in store as far as for what y'all doing, whether it's your garden or whether it's, your fruit trees or your animals or your land. You know what I mean? I hope y'all preparing for the springtime, because I hear we're supposed to have an early spring. You know what I mean? It's already a little warmer here where I'm at in Georgia. It ain't been as cold. So, I hope y'all getting ready for the springtime. I hope y'all getting y'all seeds ready. I'm going to do a video on that as well. As far as preparing for the springtime. Now it's the time to start planning out what you want to do. You want chickens this year. You want turkeys. You want to start your flock. You want to increase your flock. This is the time you need to start planning and preparing, because it's going to get here quick, and you want to take advantage of the seasons. You want to take advantage so you can have a great harvest. Yep. Peace and blessing to you and the fam. All right. Peace and blessing to you as well. Here that I live in. Appreciate you for tuning in. Like I said, I pray this bless somebody. even if it was just one person. But I'm gonna let y'all get back to it on this Sunday evening. I know a lot of us got to work tomorrow. Um, so like I always like to say, man, if you get somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. Peace.